Right now at 5, fire destroys 15 semi-trailers at David's Tire Recycling in Nevada. 7 fire departments respond to contain the blaze.
And we're starting to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms this morning. We'll talk about those and just how hot it's going to get this afternoon coming up.
Plus, power lines fall across a car near Golden City. A driver trapped inside before a helicopter rescue to the hospital.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday, August the 6th. And 7th.
It's the 7th.
It is 7th. Oh, well, hey, at least I didn't say it was Tuesday. Well, happy Thursday, everyone. One more day, and then we get into the weekend. And, of course, unfortunately, temperatures continue to climb. But
yes,
we're also getting some scattered showers and storms out there. We're going to start, though, of course, with what we're tracking over the next couple of days. Our potentially dangerous heat is going to continue through at least Saturday at this point. We'll have isolated shower and storm chances for this morning and through about maybe noon, 1 o'clock. And we still have our storm chances as we head into the weekend. Live look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Things looking pretty good. We do have some storms in southeast Kansas. However, right now they are behind this camera, and so if we turn it back that way, the only thing we see is the pole that holds that camera. Moto camera, 20th at range line. Still pretty zoomed in there, but looking good otherwise. So here's what we've got. We've got these little showers and storms beginning to develop across parts of southeastern Kansas. So we've got them stretching from Lynn County around Mound City back into northwestern Bourbon County, just north of 54. And then we've got some storms with some lightning that's been picking up just south of Erie, around the Parsons area, and some heavier rain, heavier thunderstorm activity near Mound Valley as well. And at this point, nothing is severe with any of these storms. We're not anticipating anything strong or severe, but you see that purple spot there around Mound Valley. That sometimes indicates hail, and we are picking up some small hail, it looks like, from this storm. We're looking at about half-inch size hail out there, so below severe limits. But again, a couple of stronger storms may be possible with this activity, but not expecting anything too crazy. So Future Track originally had these storms, and even current data this morning showed these storms moving south, but they're really developing along this boundary here, and they are pushing off to the east-southeast. So we'll see where they go. Again, not anticipating anything severe, but if that changes, we obviously will let you know. We also have heat advisories through at least Friday out there for parts of southeast Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma. So by noon, Future Track now showing where these storms roll east. They get east of I-49, but they're already dying out, and then that's going to do it for us in terms of rain chances today. We'll just have a few clouds here and there following that. Mild this morning as well. 75 in Joplin, 74 in Pittsburgh, and across the area again, much warmer than normal for most of us. Jay, you're about normal at 70, but most of us low mid 70s, and a little further west we do have some upper 70s out there, so an unpleasantly warm start. We'll be in the low 80s by 9. Again, these isolated storms continuing through about noon or so, and then they'll begin to die out. Low 90s by noon, mid and upper 90s for our highs, south winds gusting to 25, and our heat index values today 105 to 110 across the area. We do continue to heat up. We also have some additional rain chances. We're going to go over all those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks. Well, a pickup truck driver dies in a head-on collision with a tractor trailer at the Missouri-Kansas state line last night. The crash happened around 9:45 p.m. at the Mound on State Line Road. The pickup was traveling north and turning west onto northeast Old Highway 96 when the driver failed to yield to an eastbound semi hauling feed corn. The crash occurred in Kansas, but both vehicles came to rest in Missouri. The semi driver was not injured. Emergency crews from both states responded to the scene. Carl Junction Fire assisted Kansas Highway Patrol with traffic control. The semi went off the left side of the highway and struck a group of trees. Kansas Highway Patrol continues to investigate the crash. Well, for the second time in less than a month, a fire breaks out at a tire recycling business in Nevada. Crews responded to the fire at David's Tire Recycling at around 2 yesterday morning after smoke was spotted at the business on North Click Street. Drivers were asked to avoid the area at the time, and no word on the cause of the fire. 15 semi-trailers and their contents were destroyed in the fire. Firefighters from Nevada, Deerfield, Milo, Walker, Rana, Lamar, and El Dorado Springs contained the blaze. Just a few weeks ago, on July 19th, firefighters responded to another fire at the same site. This is video from that fire. The first fire started near the machines used to shred old tires. You can find the latest details on this story on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. A serious car crash in Jasper County takes out power lines and poles. The crash happened about 8 a.m. near Golden City yesterday. Authorities say it involved a car and a pickup. The crash took down power poles and lines in all four directions, creating an even more dangerous situation. Power lines fell across the car with the injured driver still inside. Barton County Electric had to shut off electricity to the area, and crews managed to remove the driver of the car, who was then flown by helicopter to an area hospital. The driver of the truck left the vehicle on his own and refused further medical attention. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Fort Stewart's shooter is in custody after wounding 5. Army investigators say terrorism is not believed to be the motive. Plus, Crawford County first responders trained for ammonia emergencies, learning to handle dangerous gas and liquid forms safely. And it's mostly hot and sunny skies. Chris takes another look at your forecast from the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now 5:06. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch, investigators are now trying to determine how an active duty serviceman was able to bring his personal gun onto a Georgia Army base before shooting and injuring 5 of his fellow soldiers. All of the victims are expected to survive, and the suspect was subdued by witnesses and taken into custody. CBS News' Wendy Gillette has the latest from New York.
This morning brings a search for answers after an Army sergeant opened fire on his co-workers at Fort Stewart near Savannah, Georgia, Wednesday.
They have an active shooter on Fort Stewart.
5 soldiers were hurt. Fort Stewart's commander said 3 required surgery, though all 5 are expected to recover.
All of the families of the victims have been notified, and we're wrapping our arms around them and ensuring we provide them all the support that we can.
The suspected gunman has been identified as 28-year-old Cornelius Radford, an automated logistics specialist from Jacksonville, Florida. Military officials say he used his personal weapon in the attack, which began just before 11 a.m. on the north side of the installation. Authorities say witnesses tackled and subdued the suspect, who was taken into custody nearly a half hour after the shooting started.
These soldiers, without a doubt, prevented further casualties.
The fort's commander says the Army's Criminal Investigative Division interviewed the alleged shooter. He's currently being held in pretrial confinement.
The perpetrator of this atrocity, which is exactly what it is, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
The investigation is ongoing. So far, authorities say they do not believe terrorism or extremism played a role in the attack. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Military officials say the suspect has been in the Army for more than 7 years, has never been deployed to combat, and he also hasn't had any disciplinary issues, though officials say he was recently arrested for DUI, which the chain of command was previously unaware of. In an interview with the New York Times, the suspect's father said his son had complained of alleged racism while serving at Fort Stewart. Well, still to come, King of the Hill returns after 15 years. How Hank and Peggy adjust to modern life on Hulu. Plus, summer heat sticking around. Chris has another look at your 10-day forecast. We'll be right back. Well, Hank Hill is back, and the powerful true story of America's youngest black millionaire heads to the big screen. Christian Benavides has your Eye on Entertainment report.
The state gave me 160 acres on account of my ancestors.
A young girl stumbles upon an oil fortune in the early 1900s in the upcoming theatrical drama, Sarah's Oil.
There's oceans down there.
The film tells the powerful story about the nation's youngest black millionaire, Sarah Rector. Rector became one of the world's richest oil magnates at the age of 11 with her land inheritance in Oklahoma. As greedy oil sharks close in, Sarah turns to her family, friends, and some Texas wildcatters to maintain control of her land.
All I'm asking is to keep what's mine.
Her name is Sarah Rector, and you're going to be hearing a lot about her.
Sarah's Oil hits theaters nationwide this fall. From album plaques to shoes to customized designer outfits, items belonging to the late icon Whitney Houston are going up for auction.
We wanted pieces that really spoke to her. So we have this incredible Bob Mackie casino jacket. We have a Dolce & Gabbana 2009 Clive Davis Grammy Party worn outfit.
Presented by Julian's Auctions, the collection features 25 artifacts from important moments of Houston's stellar career. It launches next week in Los Angeles, both in person and online, with all proceeds benefiting the Whitney E. Houston Legacy Foundation.
Fives should be rare in this world.
We sure are.
And the hit animated series, King of the Hill, has finally returned after a 15-year break. The reboot finds Hank and Peggy adjusting to life in modern-day Arlen, Texas, while their now 21-year-old son, Bobby, runs a German-Asian fusion restaurant. All 10 episodes are available for streaming on Hulu. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Always love a good King of the Hill episode. I'm sure it'll be pretty good this year. Well, let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that too. You brought up one of the most iconic lines from the whole thing. It was, "That's my purse, I don't know you." It works, in so many situations, as King of the Hill taught us, and Bobby taught us that as well. We also have some shower and thunderstorms building this morning in southeastern Kansas. We'll have another look at your forecast, talk about our morning rain, the heat, and what happens this weekend when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 5:16. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up on 5:19 on this Thursday morning, we do have some scattered thunderstorms out in parts of southeastern Kansas. Nothing strong or severe at this time, and we're not expecting anything strong or severe, but we do have these storms developing, so we're going to start up here with the northern cluster. So now it's starting to push into north central Bourbon County. Now this little guy right here, if these things continue on their current course, this will bring this one into Fort Scott. We've got these up here into parts of southern and south central Linn counties. And as we stretch back, we'll head over first to the west. We've got a shower here over Iola, stretching from Iola down right around Humboldt, right there on 54. And then we've got this thunderstorm, or this little thunder shower here around McCune to Parsons on 459. The heaviest thunderstorm we have right now is into west central Labette County, right over about Mound Valley. You can see it's where the lightning strikes are. There's 12 lightning strikes, all of them with this storm right here. And earlier it was showing some signs of maybe some small hail. If you look very closely, there's that itty bitty little purple dot right there. That's picking up on some hail. We had a little bit more than that earlier. It's only 0.2 of an inch, so it is below severe limits. It's really below strong thunderstorm limits too, but we did get some small hail, at least briefly, with this. All this activity flaring up pretty quickly. We've got this line stretching out through here with some development. In fact, in the last loop here, you can see another little shower flaring up back to the west. And this was the model data. The computers showed these storms. We talked about them yesterday. It showed them around 6, 7 o'clock, so they're a little earlier. But the computer data even this morning was showing them moving south. And they're not. They're really moving east-southeast. So, again, not expecting anything severe. They're just not exactly doing what all the computers think. Now, all the computers, as smart as they are, sometimes still can't figure out Mother Nature. I don't know of many people who can. Now, this future track does seem to be picking up now on that change that these storms now they're firing up are rolling east-southeast. But you can see by noon, we're not really expecting much to be left of them. They're right around the I-49 corridor from Nevada to Lamar. And then that's it. They're done. They're gone. They're over. Could get some isolated pop-up showers or thunderstorms on our Fridays. You can see here on Future Track, the majority of us are expected to remain dry, but it will at least be a possibility out there. And we go into Saturday, and it's still an isolated chance. In fact, if you look close enough, you can briefly see some of those little green splotches. Saturday's still going to be hot, so will tomorrow. It's not until we get into Sunday that we see slightly better rain chances. Our heat index values today, again, 100 to 105, and then it's tomorrow. I got a day ahead that we could see heat index values up to 110 across a good portion of the area, and that will continue into our Saturday with those heat index values, again, climbing close to 110, and maybe some of our far western counties getting a bit over that. And even Sunday could still be a bit muggy. We do have heat advisories. The latest of these run until Friday Friday evening. And of course, that's for those heat index values we just showed you. So remember, our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/forecast. As long as we're dealing with the heat, we're going to have those heat safety tips on there as well. All right, so getting our day started, at least for some of us, some isolated storms, mid-70s by 8 and near 90 by 11. We've been seeing some of the lightning from those storms from our camera here at 7th and Range Line. It never does it on cue, though. Mid-90s, upper 90s today. South winds gusting to 25 miles an hour. And the last of these shower storms should be done by about noon. We'll have clearing skies, just a few clouds for the evening and overnight. Very mild again, upper 70s and south winds gusting to 20. Still have, again, Saturday, it's a very isolated chance for a shower storm. It become a bit more isolated to widely scattered as we go into the first half of our Sunday. And then we're looking at a few more, at least, opportunities for some scattered storms as we head into the first half of our Monday as well, which again helps us with our temperatures briefly. Take a look, still looking to be around 100 tomorrow, still breezy, close to 100 Saturday, mid-90s Sunday. Then we fall back a little better, a little closer to normal, and we get into that pop-up storm mode next week. Just the heat, the humidity is going to bring us those chances. Temperatures, though, will start creeping back up into the upper 90s and maybe even some lower triple digits. That's checking your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, first responders held an emergency response training session yesterday at the Girard Fire Department. Members of the fire department, along with the Crawford County Emergency Management Agency, trained first responders on how to deal with ammonia-based emergencies. Ammonia can be dangerous in many ways, ranging from irritation and burns to breathing problems and even some long-term impacts. Responders learn ways to safely deal with ammonia in gas and liquid forms. The course covered a mix of lectures, skill stations, case studies, tabletop scenarios, and hands-on training. 11 complications during pregnancy could raise your risk of stroke for decades. A study published in the journal Neurology found women who had a stroke were nearly twice as likely to have a pregnancy complication in the past. Those complications include preeclampsia, preterm birth, miscarriage, and stillbirth, and could raise the risk of a stroke even before the age of 50. Exposure to air pollution is dangerous for heart health, but using an air purifier could help. A study by Yukon Health found people who used a portable HEPA filter at home saw their blood pressure drop. Now, that can be especially beneficial for people exposed to air pollution, such as those living near high traffic roadways. Now, the study highlights how the air we breathe at home impacts our health. And children and young adults who spend a lot of time on screens and electronic devices may have a higher risk for high blood pressure and high cholesterol. A study by the University of Copenhagen found every extra hour of daily screen time raised the risk of cardiovascular problems for 10-year-olds and 18-year-olds. Researchers say a part of the reason may be that excess screen time is linked with not getting enough sleep. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, Access Family Care hosts free community lunch, hot dogs, drinks, and chips to mark National Health Center Week.
And we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. I've been beginning to develop across southeast Kansas. Outside of that, still going to be hot, still going to be muggy. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Carthage High School band grows to 176 students. The largest group prepares for 4 competitions and hosts Maple Leaf.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:28. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday, August the 7th, and we are almost to the weekend, but we're almost to some of the hottest days of this week, unfortunately. So that's the trade-off. We're heading into the weekend, but it's going to be getting hotter out there. And we also have some scattered storms across the area this morning as well. We're going to start first. We look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Things are looking good, and again, right now, I might be able to readjust this camera in a moment. The storms initially were back behind this camera, and so when we pointed it that way, the only thing you could see was the pole that holds the camera there, so you couldn't really see much. MoDOT camera 20th in range line, looking pretty good as well this morning. But here's Skywatch Storm Tracker. We're down to 5 lightning strikes. It's been kind of pulsing here and there. Nothing strong, nothing severe by any means, but we do have some showers up around the 69 corridor through Lynn County. You got a heavier shower, a little thunderstorm here just to the west or northwest of Fort Scott. Another little shower west of Pawnee, south of Uniontown. Got a heavier shower, thunderstorm now over Humboldt and into Iola. So if you're traveling on 54 or 169, be prepared for that. This little shower out here to the northwest of Fredonia, not very impressive right now, but at the same time, neither were any of those other little storms that have fired up, but they are getting together somewhat. All right, so Parsons, it's on your east side now. McCune, you've got some heavier showers, you've got some thunderstorm activity. And then down through Lebec County from Altamont to Edna, this is where our heaviest thunderstorm has been. It did produce some small hail earlier. It was definitely sub-severe, and right now it is not showing up with any hail on that little hail scope, so that's some good news. And again, we're not expecting anything strong or severe with this activity, but we did get some brief small hail with that. So you can see where these storms fired up pretty quickly. They're on this little line here, and we have new ones again that are trying to get together. So that's why I see this shower here. It became a nice little heavy shower, so that's why even this one, while it's not super impressive right now, we certainly want to watch it, see if it can become a thunderstorm all on its own. And they're moving off right now to the south and the east-southeast. Model data originally had them moving south, so we'll see how that plays out. Also, heat advisories, our western counties out here running through at least Friday evening, and that is because our heat index values over the next few days are going to be climbing up around 110, and further west, maybe even a little higher than that. Future track now showing again where what's left of these showers and storms this morning are along the I-49 corridor. By noon, they're pretty much dead at that point, and that's going to be it. Just a few clouds otherwise here and there, and breezy today as well. Quick look at our temperatures: 75 Joplin, 73 in Pittsburgh, and across here, remember, our average low is about 70. Jay is about the only location that's at normal. We do have some low to mid 70s in our southern counties, and then as we head a little further west, we start getting into the upper 70s. Our temperatures climbing today, low 80s by 9, low 90s by noon, mid to upper 90s for our highs. Heat index values today up to 105, and south winds gusting to 25. We're going to talk more about our morning storms and, of course, our weekend rain chances and this dangerous heat here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, Access Family Care hosted a community-free lunch yesterday. Visitors could come out and grab free hot dogs, a drink, and chips. The care provider hosts the event to mark National Health Center Week. The event also provides a great way to show the community Access helps with more than just medical, dental, and mental health care.
I want to be here. Of course, we provide medical, dental, and behavioral health care for our patients, but we also want them to know that we're here to serve them for more than just that. You know, we're a part of the community. We want to be there for our communities, like I said, and all of our locations. So not just Joplin.
Access Family Health will be doing events like this throughout the month. And music is starting to fill the air as local high school bands prepare for the upcoming school year. KOM's Lonnie Walton caught up with the Carthage High School Band, which says it plans to start the semester on a high note.
I just really like the music this year. It's more like upbeat, I feel like.
Adriana Patrick is a senior band member at Carthage High School. She's held this love for band since childhood.
Since I've had siblings in it above me, I've got to do the marching show with them. I really enjoyed just getting to meet all the new people.
A lot of new people is exactly what Carthage band instructor Jennifer Sager says is happening this year.
Last year we grew quite a bit from about the 120s to 144-ish. And then this year we've come up with 176 students in our band.
The band practices on a block schedule for 2.5 hours. It's all for a busy lineup.
We go to 4 competitions ourselves, and the 4 weekends before Maple Leaf, and then we host Maple Leaf.
So what is the biggest challenge?
Probably just having to memorize everything, because we have to memorize the music. We have to memorize where we're moving.
Wrangling 176 kids is also quite a feat, but...
And that heat.
Yeah, so the weather, it does get really hot.
Lots of water, lots of hydration.
And the goal is to win those competitions and, of course, have a lot of fun. Reporting in Carthage, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, Sager says the school takes students' health seriously during these extreme temperatures. She says a local fire truck soaks them with water just to help keep those temps down. We'll need help finding and applying for some scholarships. While the Quapaw Nation Higher Education Department held a scholarship workshop last night at the community building from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Participants learned how to search and apply for scholarships both in person and virtually through Teams. The event was free and open to everyone, but registration was required ahead of time. Now, if you missed last night's session, there's another one coming up August 20th at the same place and the same time. You can register online at quapawtribe.com or by emailing education.department@quapawnation.com.
So schools will be very upfront with you about this, what tuition costs, this is what books are going to cost, those kind of things. But they don't necessarily talk about this is what it costs to drive your car back and forth. This is what gas prices are where we live. This is how much laundry costs and things like that.
Now, Dean Hall wrote a book called College Unpacked, and he's giving a copy to everyone who attends one of the workshops. The next session is, of course, scheduled for August 20th. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A big week for Disney. Hulu and Disney Plus merge into one app while ESPN gets WWE and NFL content. Plus, Heinz and Smoothie King settled the tomato debate with a new ketchup smoothie featuring tomato and berry flavors. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, President Trump is threatening to slap tariffs of approximately 10% on imported semiconductors in a push to boost domestic production. The president made the announcement during an event at the White House on Wednesday, unveiling Apple's commitment to invest $100 billion in U.S. manufacturing. Well, it's been a big week for Disney's media holdings. The company says its Hulu and Disney Plus streaming apps will combine into one app next year to create a, quote, unified app experience. The same day, Disney announced a deal that would make ESPN the exclusive U.S. domestic home of all premium WWE live events, including WrestleMania and SummerSlam, starting in 2026. That all followed news that ESPN is also acquiring the NFL Network, NFL Fantasy, and the rights to NFL Red Zone. And fruit or vegetable, the great tomato debate may finally be settled. Heinz and Smoothie King are setting the record straight with a new ketchup smoothie. The frozen treat features notes of tomato blended with the flavors of acai, apple, strawberry, and raspberry. It's available for a limited time in 5 U.S. markets, including Atlanta, Chicago, and New York. And that's a look at Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Continuing to track thunderstorms, at least some isolated storms out there across the region this morning. Nothing strong, nothing severe, but a few of us getting some rain, some rumbles of thunder, and then temperatures really will begin to climb as we head into the afternoon and into the upcoming weekend. We'll break down all the details for you in their full forecast right after this. Time now is 5:40.
Well, a new report says lots of people love to buy those farm fresh foods grown right in their communities. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Tariff rates of 10% to 40% are scheduled to go into effect Thursday on dozens of U.S. trading partners. It follows an executive order last week from President Trump, and on Wednesday, the president signed an additional order to place an additional 25% tariff on India for its buys of Russian oil. That brings combined tariffs imposed on India at 50%. Now, those additional tariffs would go into effect 21 days after the signing, which would allow India time to negotiate. Shares of Yum Brands fell on Tuesday morning after the fast food giant missed analyst expectations for earnings and revenue in the second quarter. Its businesses include KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell. It's reported it was hit by higher ingredient costs and saw weaker customer demand. One analyst said concerns about tariffs and a weakening job market have consumers hunting for value. New numbers show that small farms sold $2.4 billion worth of food products directly to consumers in 2023. Now, this chart from USDA showing that on the far left. It says the number represents more than any other farm type selling directly to consumers, including mid-size and large-scale family farms. The agency says small farms utilize farmers markets, farm stands, and community-supported agriculture to help make it happen. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agroweb.com.
All right, let's head over now to Chris for a full look at today's forecast.
Yeah, we are tracking some showers and storms out there this morning, mainly into southeast Kansas right now. And you can see they're not overly impressive, and we're not expecting them to become overly impressive by any means, but at least some rain, some rumbles of thunder. We're going to start up north toward Linn County, where we've got this little shower here, crossing 69 and getting ready to enter parts of northwestern Vernon County. We got this guy to the northwest of Fort Scott, and a little shower west of Pawnee there on K39. Eventually, Fort Scott, you'll get in on some rain out of this as well. Iola, you've had some heavier rain, but this shower also beginning to die down as well in the last few radar scans. So we'll have to see exactly how these play out. Parsons, your activity has also kind of begun to fizzle out. You got some heavier rain or some moderate rain on the east side of town, McCune, West Mineral, Oswego. Again, the heavier thunderstorm, which even it is beginning to kind of die down as well, is west of Chautauqua and Oswego, over Edna and just southeast of Altamont there, 166 and 160 is where that is. Now, the lightning has also come down. As you can see, there's only 4 strikes, and all the lightning strikes we've had are from this storm here. But the lightning we have seen on some of our cameras has been pretty impressive. So remember, it can still be dangerous out there with that lightning. These storms are pushing east-southeast. It almost looks now as though the one in Lebec County is starting to turn south, which is, again, what part of the expectation originally was for these showers and storms was they would turn to the south. So we'll see exactly how this plays out. Future tracks still believe some of them, especially the northern ones, might still continue to roll a bit east. So by noon, right along the I-49 corridor immediately east of that, what's left of these showers this morning, which isn't much, will be dying out. And then we'll spend the rest of our day just hot and muggy. We could get some isolated pop-up showers or a rumble of thunder through the day, as you can see on Friday, even as early as 9-10 o'clock in the morning. Not expecting anything too crazy out of that activity. And then Saturday, it'll be the same thing again, where we could get an isolated pop-up shower or storm, but not looking too impressive. That's why at least through Saturday we still remain with the dangerous heat out there, simply because we're not going to get much relief. We don't have any actual organized rain chances until we get into Sunday at least. So heat index values today up to 105. By tomorrow we're looking up to 110. That's why we have the heat advisories, which I'll show you in a moment. We could. Now, future track might be going a little over the top, but we're looking at that, again, potential for dangerous heat. Heat index values, at least here, could be up to 115 in parts of southeast Kansas tomorrow. So I'm hoping future track's just going a little over the top there. But still, it's just that sign that we still have to deal with this dangerous heat into the weekend. And so again, heat advisories, the latest of these here run through Friday evening. So we'll see, A, if they're extended, B, if they're expanded. But you still need to take precautions whether you're under a heat advisory or not with this dangerous heat. And we, of course, have all those safety tips there back up on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Click on the forecast page, and you'll find all of those graphics that we like to show you sometimes, give you some great safety tips. Again, we've been seeing the lightning from our camera here at 7th and Rangeline. There have been some impressive strikes. While the number of lightning strikes have come down to our west, they've been pretty impressive. So again, still be safe with that lightning this morning as well. Mid-70s by 8 and near 90 by 11. We'll have these isolated storms trying to hold through again through about noon, and then they just kind of fizzle out and they're gone, and the skies will gradually clear for those who had some rain. Mid-90s today, south winds gusting to 25. Overnight tonight, we'll have mostly clear skies, still breezy, south winds gusting to 20, and very mild, upper 70s near 80 for those lows. Our rain chances again Saturday, very isolated out there, but by Sunday, it's still isolated to widely scattered. Remember, on the long-range future track, it's not rain in all these areas. It's just showing rain could be possible, but it's still there. And then Monday, we have slightly better rain chances in the first half of the day, and that will all help us with our temperatures at least briefly next week. About 100 tomorrow, maybe a little hotter in some places. Same on Saturday, mid-90s Sunday, back to normal or at least close to Monday through Wednesday. Pop-up storm chances with the humidity next week, and temperatures climbing back into the upper 90s near the triple digits. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with sports.
All right, thanks. Well, the end of August cannot come any faster for football fans with games being played this month. But before the action on the gridiron begins, Wednesday morning yesterday marked the start of Missouri Southern State's fall preseason camp. As the Lions prepare for their season opener in just over 3 weeks, one thing that will stand out about this year's roster is their depth. After battling through injuries last year, the focus for the coaching staff this offseason was to get deeper across the field. And while recruiting and the transfer portal are key in college sports, head coach Atiba Bradley credits the team's returning pieces more than anything else.
We've had much better success with our retention with these last 2 classes, and so now we're looking up, and you've got a senior, you've got a redshirt junior, and you've got a 2 true sophomores, and that doesn't happen overnight, you know, and so it's taken us a couple years to find our groove, but retention is up, and so as a result, depth is much improved.
Now, after last season, the Lions wanted to address the culture surrounding the program, and for the players during their off-season workouts, the focus was on discipline with an emphasis on putting 100% effort into everything you do.
Missouri Southern's beat Missouri Southern for too long, especially in the last 4 years that I've been around. That's what I've noticed is, you know, we can't have penalties that are just random, and we can't have personal fouls. There's nothing like that. When it comes to weight room, Coach Dredge has done the ability to, you know, establish that discipline. Like, there's no shortcuts. There's no, hey, you're not going to do this just because you don't want to. No, it's like, hey, you're going to do it because I told you to do it, and that's the discipline, and that's what's going to show up on the field.
Discipline and culture is a 24-hour deal. I'm only around these guys, 8 hours a week. I'm only around these guys, in the summer I can't be around them at all, basically. And so it's really your Dimitri Lloyds, your Trace Wilhites, your Draper Parker, your Zach Bergmans, your Colton Basses. These guys that have been in our program 4 or 5 years now understand what it takes to get to the level of competition that we want.
The Lions open the 2025 season at home on August 30th against Midwestern State. And this morning, Pitt State released their uniforms for their whited out themed home football opener on September 13th with a historical twist. When the Gorillas take on Ferris State in the Jungle, they will be honoring legendary coach Carney Smith along with the 1957 and 1961 national championship teams. The stripes on the sleeves of the jersey are to commemorate the 1597 championship squad, with the number on the helmet inspired by the 1961 national champs. But Pitt State didn't stop there, as the front features a patch to honor the legendary coach and teams. And don't forget about the gorilla on the helmet either, as Pitt State will be looking good in their home opener. Well, the Joplin Outlaws are back in the Mid-America League Championship Series after defeating the Texarkana Rhinos in their semifinal matchup on Tuesday. Now, they will find out their opponent as the Sherman Shadowcats and Abilene Flying Bison battle to face the Outlaws. Joplin is a combined 17-4 against these two teams this year, and this one is going back and forth in a tied matchup with the Flying Bison tying the game at 4 in the 6th inning. And the Royals and Cardinals are wrapping up their respective series on Wednesday before getting on off day tomorrow. Well, starting with the Cards, they finish a 3-game set against the Dodgers in LA with the rubber match for the series, and the Redbirds come away with a big series win over the Dodgers, coming from behind to pick up a 5-3 win. Jordan Walker has a big day, going 3 for 5 and knocking in the game-tying and winning run in the 8th inning. Cardinals travel back home for a weekend series against the Cubs. Kansas City finishing their series in Boston, avoiding the sweep with a 7-3 win over the Red Sox. It was the bottom third of the quarter, leading the way for KC. Kyle Isbell had a 2-run single, and Jonathan India cleared the Green Monster for a 3-run homer. Michael Wacha tossed a quality start, giving up only 2 runs in 6 innings. Royals head to Minnesota for 3 games this weekend, and that's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, a black bear was caught on camera opening a house door in Telluride, Colorado, using the handle with ease. Colorado Parks and Wildlife shared the footage, warning that bears can learn how to enter homes. Officials say this behavior can lead to serious human-wildlife conflicts. Well, a young gorilla at the Fort Worth Zoo is going viral for enjoying his new swing. Video shows 2.5-year-old Bruno swing back and forth with ease inside his enclosure. The zoo says the new addition is a big hit with the playful primate.
And we've got ourselves a very warm, hot day out there, honestly, just straight up hot. We've got some clouds, we've got some isolated storms this morning. Not everybody's going to get rain, but some of us may. We're going to make it into the mid-70s by 8, near 90 by 11 o'clock this morning. Model data suggests these isolated storms, or at least a couple of showers or whatever's left of them, might continue through about noon. Then that's it. And as I mentioned, most of us will be dry. Skies will gradually clear through the afternoon. Mid-90s heat index values today up to 105. South winds gusting to 25. Very warm, mild through the evening and overnight, near 80 with our overnight lows into the upper 70s. Still breezy. South winds gusting upwards of 20. And I just now took a look at the clock that's in front of me and realized I've been speed reading, and I shouldn't have. So we're going to slow down. We're going to slow down a little bit. All right, so mid-90s today, breezy. Breezy again tomorrow. South winds again gusting to 25, but look at these temperatures. We're flirting with the triple digits really the next few days. We do have heat advisories in place now through Friday evening for parts of southeast Kansas and into northeastern Oklahoma because heat index values out west could easily approach 110. And Future Track, I hope it's wrong, but it's showing upwards of 115 in our far western counties. So remember, KOAMNewsNow.com/forecast. All of our heat safety tips are there. Staying hot through at least Sunday. Very isolated storm chances Saturday. Slightly better Sunday, slightly better Monday, and that brings our temperatures down Monday through Wednesday, a little closer to normal. Pop-up storm chances out there, and it's a brief reprieve from the heat as temperatures begin to climb again, back up close to 100 by next week. That is the check of your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.